Hi, my name is Ashley Thompson and I'm an EDS student at Auburn University. This is my advanced field project. I have adapted my curriculum to meet Google Classroom for a one-on-one classroom that we'll be having next year at my school system. In a previous video, I showed you some of the features and the views that I had as a teacher slash administrator of the Google Classroom. In this video, I've logged in as a student of mine who gave me permission to use his email and log in for Google Classroom. And I've went ahead and I've added him to this classroom using the code that I showed you in the other video. As a student, you have different classes. And so to add a class, you just simply click this plus sign button, you type in the code, and you're automatically entered. The teacher can go back and choose to add or delete students based on their preference as well. So this would be the student's homepage. They would click on the class that they belong to, and here it is. So the student would have the ability to look at assignments. In the left corner, it would always tell students what assignments they have due recently, which is very helpful for students as they log on. They also have the same tabs and about features like the other, like the teacher view had. So the students can look and see how many classmates are there. If their email features are activated, they can email one another. In this case, they would, they're not for our school system yet. There's an about section where they can look at the different things. They have the option to email the instructor. They have their own Google Drive folder for just this class, which helps them organize it. They can also look at the calendar. And then, of course, they have their stream. Now, when students complete assignments, they have to actually open the assignments, which is going to look a little different than the teacher view. So please make sure that you're telling your students to actually click open, because if they don't click open, it will not show them all the handouts. For example, on the teacher view, this lesson would show me all of the handouts that are assigned for this assignment. Whereas on the student view, it only shows the comments, the links, or the YouTube videos that you may have posted, and directions. So the student may look at it and think, where's the guided notes, or where is the PowerPoint? They would have to actually click open for this to work. In the top part, it will also show the due date, and the students get a status update on their assignments. Like for this student, they are not done. So the view is somewhat similar. There's a few things that are different, so it may make it a little difficult for your students to understand what you want them to do. So when they read the directions, a lot of times they may not understand. So please make sure that you suggest to them to open the assignment. So I'm going to show you a couple of things that the students can do. So let's just say we open this assignment. In this assignment, they're supposed to write, watch the YouTube videos and create a chart. Now, there is no chart that's already added, so the student is going to have to do it themselves, which can be done pretty easily. They can choose the add function, where they can add something from their Google Drive, a link, or a file. And that may be easy for things that students have already worked on to attach the assignment. Most commonly, though, they're going to hit this create button, and it gives them an option of Google Docs, slides, sheets, or drawings. I'm not very familiar with the drawings section, but that is something that I do want to continue to learn more about. These three things are very easy. They're very similar to Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Excel. So most of the time when students know how to use those, they're pretty familiar with how that's going to work. So in this case, a student would probably choose a document, and the document would pull up already titled with what the assignment is, which is very helpful if they're going back through their drive and trying to figure out what it is. So the student can click on the document. Again, very similar to Microsoft Word, you have some of the same features. One of my favorite things about Google Documents is this Tools section. If you'll click Tools and hit Research, it brings up a research bar. This research bar allows the students to type in something like they would in Google, but it allows them to insert things directly into the document without reformulating them. Also, it kind of narrows the search so that you don't have to worry about maybe inappropriate things. It kind of just specifies it for educational use, which is very nice for the teacher. When you insert in, you can insert links, you can cite work, which is really hard for middle school students to learn how to do, so it will just pop it up in the bottom. So like I can click on these different things that I want to use directly from this research bar. Students will then complete the assignment. They can send the teacher comments, as well as the teacher can comment directly onto the assignment, so you can give immediate feedback. In the share button, you can share this assignment with other classmates, or you can share it with your teacher. Automatically, it will be shared with the student and the teacher because it's linked together, but if, say, students want to work together, they could share their assignments. So that may be something that you may have to manage. But most of the time, the students won't really use this feature, but it is there if they do figure it out. Students can immediately turn in something straight from the document. So if they hit turn in, it's going to say that they have completed the activities for this lesson. This is very easy for this lesson. However, if you have multiple attachments, you don't want the students to hit turn in on each individual assignment because they would be turning in all of the attachments. So it shows that this attachment is there. It asks them again if they want to turn it in. They choose turn in, and then it marks them as done. So when they go back to their home page, it's going to show them that that assignment is complete. So they know that they're done. So there is really no question of whether they did it or not. One thing that you may have students do is not hit the turn in button. Maybe they've completed the assignment, but they did not turn it in. So you may have to go back through and see what they have done, especially if you're going to grade for partial credit. But of course, you want to encourage the students to click turn in so that they have record that they completed the assignment. And then also, when you look at the assignment as a teacher, it's going to categorize your students as done and not done. So if you were to just glance over the assignment, it's going to look like certain students have finished and certain have not. But again, you may want to go back through and check for partial credit on some of those assignments. So there was a discussion question that was posted. So a student who would do a discussion. So let's just say this was the assignment. They're going to answer the question. They're using the article. It shows them to type in their answer. So the student would type in their answer just like this. And then they would hit submit. So it's going to show them how many replies they get. In this case, you're supposed to respond to 2 other classmates, so they will have the option. It also gives them the option to see other classmates' answers, so they will pop up on the side, kind of like a chat feed, and then students can go back. They can also go back and edit their answers, which is really important, especially if you're given live feedback. Like if I wanted to say to use text citations or to show me in the text where they got that information from, the students could go back and edit their answers, which is really helpful, especially if you're taking this assignment for a grade. Some of the other features that students have the ability to do is, of course, Google Forms. So the student's not going to really have the option to go back and look at things, especially if you've already set up the Google Forms to only take one response. So the students need to double check that they're logged in as them, because that's how you will grade the assignment. They'll go through and complete the assignment and then hit submit, and then again it will go to an Excel file that the teacher can look at later on. So, other things that the student has access to, other than Google Docs, Google Forms, is they will also have access to PowerPoints in these lessons. So, for example, I know I posted a PowerPoint in lesson 1. So students would click open, they would have the option to have Google Slides, and they could go through and look. Again, I selected view only for this because if you don't have view only, the students, it'll show up all the students that are taking or looking at this PowerPoint, and they'll have the option to do a chat feature. But again, they have all of this information just like they would if you were presenting off of a slide. However, it's making them more accountable for the assignment. So the goal is actually to get the students more engaged. Now, it's difficult with agriculture and other CTAE classes because, you do want that hands-on component. But however, integrating the technology is really important these days, especially for my school system. So it makes the students a little bit more accountable for what they're doing. I like the accountability that Google Classroom has, meaning that you have records of everything that the student does. So they can't say that they didn't know or they didn't have or they couldn't access. Because at my school, they are allowed to access not only on the Chromebooks in the classroom, but also on their own technology. So most of the time, if the student has the ability to connect to Wi-Fi or they have their own data plan, they're able to access this at home, they're able to access this in other classes, and most importantly in the classroom. So the student is responsible for their work, and the immaturity factor of not having the assignment or not understanding the assignment is no longer there because the student and the teacher can interact with one another even if they're not face to face. Students also get immediate feedback, which is really important for some of our students because they're able to get direct comments from me on their assignments. They are able to email me. They're able to ask me questions while they're logged on to Google Classroom. So they get that immediate feedback, which a lot of our students need to be successful. I'm also able to click on any student at any time and see what they're working on, which also helps keep them accountable for staying on task. Sometimes it's also helpful to display good examples of work. Like I may click on a student and show that they're doing a good job. I could project that on my active board and other students could see what's going on. And that would also help them be successful. So this is what I've learned so far about Google Classroom. Again, I'm not an expert, but I do think that this is going to make my classroom very relevant and unique. And I am very excited about incorporating the technology. I hope that my students are equally excited to use this technology in agriculture in their agri-science class. And I'm looking forward to a great year using Google Classroom. Thank you.